What's going on, traders? Welcome to live trading with Benzinga. We're going to get this party started. Let's go ahead. Looks like we are a little bit late, but guess what? We still got a little bit to the bell. Let's go ahead and get live trading started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part, it's beatable.
What's going on, traders? Welcome back. And yes, the market is beatable, but only if you go ahead and work towards your process, get towards the next level. And like always, that's what we got to go ahead and do. Build on our skills. That's what this show is all about. Let's go ahead, hit that thumbs up. Let's get this party started. Hit the subscribe bell if this is your first time at live trading. We do this every single day. Either it's DG or you got myself, Ryan Faloona, Zunaid, and Spencer at times live trading with you, and that's what it's all about. Let's go ahead and bring in my man. Looks like we got him in the back. Looks like he's ready. Looks like he has a little bit of an upgrade. What's going on, Ryan?
How's it going, Mitch? We're ready to crush this today. You're absolutely right. What upgrade are you talking about? Are you talking about the red or the orange and blue lights that I got going for a Bears victory week?
What? The Bears won, and guess what? Don't worry. I bet it against the Bears, so you can double smile today. And victory, I think really that's why the Raiders coach got fired, but we won't talk about that. Let's go ahead.
Hey, look, I've a lot of my non-Bears friends are joshing me that the only reason that the Bears got a win is because the Las Vegas team was dealing with some stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and just celebrate this win because I don't know how many more we're gonna get, but we'll see.
Got to take it when you can get it, right? We never know when probability is going to fall towards our favor. As we know, Detroit Lions, it never falls in their favor. So we'll try not to be like the Detroit Lions here. We'll try to be a little bit better than the Detroit Lions. Let's take a look here at the SPY and the overall market.
All you BZ employees out there, that was Mitch. He does not share my point of view.
Yeah, they could talk to me later about it. I'll still tell them the same thing. Let's keep going. Let's take a look here at the SPY. We've been trying to get above 436, drop down a little bit on that inflation data. Inflation data came in just a smidgen hot over the expected announced date. What are you thinking, Ryan? Do you think the inflation is going to really affect today's trading? Do you think it's going to bring us back down? Do you think we're going to move up here? How are you looking at the overall market?
I would say that the inflation stuff is not necessarily like a one-day thing. So I don't necessarily I wouldn't make a trade today based on that. As far as the SPY goes here, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. October has really kind of been rough. It seems to just kind of swing back and forth here. I noticed that we did kind of trade up a little in the pre-market, pretty much back to where we closed yesterday or right before the close. So we'll see. We'll see what happens today. I'll be honest. I still think that the market is due for another 5% pullback. Before the end of the year. And unfortunately, I also think, well, I guess not unfortunately. Fortunately, I also think that there's going to be a year-end rally. So for me to be correct, some of this stuff is going to have to start happening soon. We're gonna see if that's possible. As far as today goes, I want to see if we can actually break above 435 on the SPY. If we do, I think today could make for a pretty big day. I think that if we stay below 434, we'll probably try and retest some lows though.
All right, looks like Zunaid is recovering from what of all places, the dentist. Oh, good Lord. I hate that place. So
wait, Zunaid is recovering from the dentist right now?
Yeah, he's recovering. So hey, you know how that one goes, Ryan. I don't think anybody likes a dentist. If you do, go become one because I can't do that. It's definitely a special person.
Let's just absolutely hate the dentist.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into what I think. I feel like, we're just stuck in the chop zone, man. I've been talking about this. And if we look back, this is why I love to look back at data. Like too many times I catch traders wondering, well, what's going on in the market? If you just look back to last year, what happened? Look at September. Looks like I'm getting an echo, Ryan. Is that from your side?
Say again. Am I echoing?
I was picking myself up. I don't know.
Okay. Here.
There you go. It went away. September, October, November. Look at this circle, guys. Look what we did. This is last year. This is not this year. This is last year. And so look how we were kind of in that same kind of chop zone last year. And then eventually in November, we pushed out of the chop. That's exactly what I'm kind of looking for in this market also. I'm seeing the chop. I'm seeing us stuck in the zone. I think we stay within this zone for a while until we break out of the 440s or 426 on the downside. I think we're just going to stay in this chop. And so when the market's like this is when I start kind of doing more quicker trades. Reason why is that when you try to do swing trades in a moment like this, it's going to be hard. Like, let's say I'm swing trading bros, and I'm kind of happy that I took that 13% because now I've had 2 days. Inside day, it could break out through the 50 today, but that's what it's all about, guys. It's about taking the profits. Right now, we've been seeing swing trades kind of come down in their overall return percentage. And I've been seeing traders talk about it also, where they start saying like, hey, my swings aren't working right now. And then a lot of day traders are saying, hey, well, it's a day trading environment. And so this is when you realize that, hey, you have to take a look at the overall market. When the overall market is not in a trend, and that's what it's been in the last, since let's say October, or even you can go back to September 20th, when the overall market is not in a trend, that's when swing trades aren't going to work as much. Because for swing trades to work, you want what, Ryan? You want a trend, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're muted, but at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that trend in the market, right, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to say you want to trade with the trend. You don't want to fight the trend. Hopefully, I don't have to keep muting myself because I'm gonna screw that up a number of times, my man.
No worries. We'll keep a lookout. If you guys hear an echo, let me know in the chat. I don't think we should have an echo right now, but hey, you guys let us know if you guys hear anything. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at the overall market. What are the biggest movers?
Real quick, Mitch, before you move on to the overall market chat here, Martin in the chat is asking for levels on bro. I'd be curious to know what your levels on bro are. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at 50 as going to be the most important level right away. Definitely some resistance there that we're going to have to get through. The round number phenomenon also going on. I also think 54.90, let's just call it 55, would be your next level. And then, of course, your all-time high. I have a high print of $62 exactly. So those are going to be my three levels: 50, 55, and 62.
All right. So the levels that I have here, a lot of it was based on more along the original trade setup. So I did the Fibonacci's here, right? Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the 38.2 here, and it kept holding it, slightly dipped below it a couple times, and then we recovered it from that point. So what I'm looking for is potentially we held the 50 return spot pretty well yesterday. So I would actually try to see that broken a little bit. You see this box that I drew? Yep. I drew this box. Why? Because I tried to tell myself I want to get back into bros, but I almost want to establish that level before yesterday. I wanted to already be like, okay, so this is my pullback level. This is where I could get back in the trade and then establish my risk. So for me, that's the level of 46. So I'm going to draw this sideways to get myself an area that if the stock goes in that area today, I can go ahead and take the trade and base it off of what? I'll just base it off the bottom of this candle right here, gotcha. The 44, and give myself an ability to get back in the trade and get back up. Of course, we traded this one from below 43s. We actually, well, it was 43 like 05, and we got out of this trade up there at $48 and up past 49. I got like 49.30s on the rest. I was looking for 50, but hey, I'm not going to be mad about that. That was in 2 days, 10, 12%. Hey, you got to take it off the table. Not a bad trade. We'll look for the pullback in that area today. See if we can get bros to come back to 46. To me, big resistance at 50. It's gone sideways here at 48. You want to see a little bit of a red to green move. That's what I'll be looking for at the open.
Absolutely. And guys, give my man Mitch a like and a like and a subscribe there for those levels. He just gave you an entire trade plan before the market even opened. So if that's helpful, go ahead, smash that like and subscribe button. I'm taking a look here. James through the chat is asking about CRISPR, ticker CRSP.
Let's take a look.
What are your thoughts on CRISPR? So did you just say good luck?
Oh no, I just said let's take a look.
Oh, let's take a look, because good luck is going to be was going to be my good answer. The issue here is that these gene editors, these have been absolutely on fire. NTLA also comes to mind here. In fact, let's take a look at that chart and see what that chart looks like. This also looks like this is down a little bit on the news here from CRISPR. So you'll notice that we do have a why is it moving here. CRISPR Therapeutic shares are trading lower if the company reported results from its phase 1 carbon trial of CTX 100 in relapsed or refractory CD19 B cell malignancies. So I'm not an expert enough on gene editing. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any type of medical professional. So I can't tell you how important this particular aspect is to CRISPR. What I can say is that the market does not appear to be liking this, and frankly, especially with CRISPR, we are at a breaking point here. So this is either going to bounce or this is going to break down. If you want to trade this today, if you believe in this to the long side, I would trade this probably against 90. I wouldn't want to hold this much past 90. I'm going to have a quick trigger with some of these stocks, like you were just talking about not long ago, Mitch. We're kind of in the chop zone here. So if you're going to take these trades, have your timeline line up with what you're seeing in the regular market. To me, I would stay away from this one. But if you want to play this for a bounce because you think that's going to happen, keep those stops tight. Looking a little rough here this morning.
Yeah, I think I agree with that statement. I'd take a look here at the weeklies or the monthlies even. You could take a look at the weekly also, and you could see that it's kind of dipped multiple times, actually pushed up through that 150. When it pulled back in here, and we wanted to see it hold right here 120 and get right back up there to 150s to have that real bullish sense. But this candle is a really scary candle for me. Right here, this kind of hangman, that's a hangman candle right there,
Yep.
right off the trend reversal, which was a support hold that you were expecting to see there. Usually, what are we looking for at that support? We're looking for that hammer candy to really hold and the stock to go right back up, give you a bullish engulfing candle and get right back up here. But instead, what happens the last couple of weeks, it's a quick turnaround, breaking through the support of 110 here. To me, yeah, it could go maybe to 110, but I don't give it much after that. It would have to definitely hit some resistance. I did hear, though, that Kathy took a chance on this and was dip buying this morning, Ryan.
That I don't have the report. I normally rely on the ARC reports, which I don't get till the end of the day. Are you saying that this happened yesterday?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up exactly what happened with that, but definitely I did see news on that this morning that Kathy was taking some of that CRISPR, and I mean, hey, you guys know how she likes to get the dip there. It looks like, and you guys can maybe definitely verify this if you guys want. I would verify it. I'm pulling this actually from Twitter because this is where I found it this morning. Kathy Wood ARC Fund snapped up CRISPR shares ahead of an 8.8 plunge after hours. Okay. ARC now down 20% year over year on the name. So we'll see what happens with this one. They've been dipping their toes in it and probably caught in this one. What I would look for is that monthly support to hold, or the 200-day moving average to come back into play. And as you can see on the daily, it's really above it. To me, this is bearish, heading towards 76. That would be the support for me. But hey, like always, determine what you guys want to go after. Let's go to the chat here. If you guys have a gapper that you guys want to point out, throw it in the chat. What's the next one up, Ryan?
Well, real quick, let me just close the book here. One thing on Kathy. Kathy's time horizon is probably going to be much longer than ours is. So just because Kathy bought and then took a hit, don't necessarily use that into your own trading plan. I was looking at James here. James had mentioned a stop of 90.75 with a price target of 96, which is the 50% fib. I think you meant fib, not rib retrace. Fib retrace. But you're right, it's being beaten down hard. So what I did is I pretty much drew that long position here on the chart so that we can visualize it. All right. I actually really like this trade. I think the setup is good. We got about a 3.3 to a risk to reward ratio here. Really like this type of setup. This is what I mean about having a tight stop, right? You're going to know right away if this is either going to work or if this is not going to work. So James, to your point here, I think that's a really nice setup in terms of your trade. Let us know if you end up taking it. I'll watch CRISPR out of the open here, but this is not in my wheelhouse. I'm likely not going to play this. All
right, let's go ahead. If you guys see a gap or you guys want to bring up in the chat, you guys see some catalysts out there you want to talk, we'll go definitely bring it up. I'm going to be watching stocks like Apple. I know Apple was fighting yesterday, and it's kind of funny. I was on Money Mitch when they released the news of the iPhone production worries. And I was literally talking about that same exact thing as the news hit the tape. So I'm watching for that continued kind of down movement towards the trend line. 135s underneath that is where I can start seeing myself taking some shots in Apple. I would take it if it got down closer towards 130. We'll see if it can get down towards that level again. One of the things is you can see clearly the 200-day moving average is right above that 135. That's kind of where I can see it definitely at least catching a little bit of a bid there. We'll see what happens today if it can get back up. Right now on the 5-minute, it is looking like it's trying to push. Does have multiple pushes that it's tried to get over. We'll see if it can get over 143 today, and that's Apple.
Yeah, and one of the, I actually talked about this last night on the happy hour. A couple of, for the past several years, one of my best options trades was buying what I called the idiot drops on some of these really good stocks. Apple, whenever I would hear about, the supply constraints, that they're not going to be able to have their iPhone, this, that, and the other thing, every time that had resulted in a trading opportunity, a quick near-term options trading opportunity. A little bit different now with the supply chain shortages that we're having with all of the chips and everything else. So I want to see how this reacts. I was saying last night, if this sells off out of the open and then holds, I'm going to be liable to actually trade this. It's interesting because we already see this bought back up to near the closing price from yesterday, and the market hasn't even opened yet. So I'm also watching Apple. Mitch, that'd be awesome if we were and both end up trading this today. That'd be really sweet.
Yeah, I'm looking for continued weakness. Another thing that I think is going to happen is you got their earnings right at the end of the month. I think you're going to hear more and more about production shortages. Normally, I don't pay attention to those, Ryan, but in this environment, I'd be careful because if for some reason, and we've already been talking about the supply issues that are going to come into the holidays, if for some reason they can't meet 50% of their expectation, not because of selling, but because of production, that would really hurt Apple. I think you need to pay attention to what happens. Wearables is one area that I think could pull them out of this. Maybe they sell the watch a little bit more and they're able to get out of here. But definitely not like the Apple chart right now. We'll see what happens. CCL going hard down right out the gates, guys. They want to pull that out. Reason why I'm watching that is because I'm looking to see if the reopening trade is coming into play. And CCL taking a hard dip there right out the gates.
Sorry, just watching stuff out of the open here.
Yeah, gotta watch.
Looks strong out of the open. I think you might have a trade and plug if you break above 32.65, which is going to be your pre-market high. I have no position in plug. I don't necessarily care for it, but it's having a nice strong day right out of the open there.
All right. So the way that I would approach this stock is let me go ahead and give us a little bit more of the chart to kind of go off of here. So one of the things that I've been trying to use more of is trying to give you guys a full explanation on the strategies that I would go after here. I draw a trend line immediately from the pre-market from that line. You could see that it came back right up through that. What did we get, guys? 1 resistance, 2 resistance, 3 resistance, pull back to support. As long as it holds, we look for the breakout. Now we've gotten that move to 32.50. I'd look for pullbacks to the VWAP to see if I could get in, but VWAP is actually getting tighter towards 32.05. We'll see if it could just continues this move on up. With plug, you're going to run into also FSIL. still also looking
Yep.
like it's starting to push on up. I would watch that one. And BLDP is the other one, Ballard Power. We'll see if all those kind of get pushing, and they have very similar charts.
All right, so real quick, I actually am live here on a trade. This is SNTG. This is one
Boom.
that I was watching from the beginning here. Went real small here. This to me feels like some risk. We had some big volume sticks early in the pre-market. We have a high here of about 328. I think that this gets tested. We have some sellers here at 305. That's actually where I'm in. I think that if we dip to 296 here, if we don't get any type of building or we don't attack the seller wall at 305, I'm probably out here. Very quick trade. I certainly don't want to let this become worse. So I'm watching this. This actually came through 3. I'm hoping for a 327 break. We'll see if that materializes.
We'll keep on watch here at the gates. We're starting to get this pullback in plug. I want to take a look at some of the stocks out there. So if you guys have a stock that you guys want to call out right out the gates, go ahead and put it up in the chat. I'll definitely take a look, and we'll see if we can get any of these movers to really start moving here right out the gates. You know how I like to pay attention to the change percent from the open. And what I have right now is utility up 0.33%. Technology 0.29, and communication services right behind that at 0.18. In the red, I have energy, financial services, and real estate. All right. So if I take a look at utilities, what is leading us is independent power producers. So you're talking about stocks like VST. That one's having a really good day. Take a look at that one. Look at that chart. That one's having an awesome day.
And actually, Mitch, on V, that one actually just broke above what looks like a near-term double top. Looks like we might be into a gap here. This is a good spot.
Yeah, I actually like this trade. I like the daily chart. I like where it's heading. Multiple supports right underneath it now, near that 19. I'd like it to hold on pullbacks. Looks like I had a good chart, pushed on up through that 1950. We'll see if we get some pullbacks to the support. VWAP is coming really close towards that 1950. That's kind of the area that I'd look for pullbacks to get into this one, but not a bad little move, especially in an energy play. You usually don't see that great of a good move right out the gates.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you might have some resistance there at your round number at 20. But this has definitely been strong. Good spot on this one, Mitch.
All right, now let's keep going. Let's take a look at technology. What's up in technology? Of course, solar. I've been talking about it. It's just a seasonality play, guys. Look at Run. Look at SPWR. That's the ones that were leading yesterday. JKS, you can take a look at. I'd be watching that one. Looks like we got a little bit of a pop right out the gates. We'll see what happens on those. Sol, not having a bad day. Run is probably the best one right now. SEDG is another one. ENPH is one that I'd look at, maybe doing a VWAP bullish move right there. Max N is another one that you can keep an eye out for a bullish move right here. We'll see what happens with these, and I'll keep moving on. If you guys see a certain area you want to bring up, now it's looking like semiconductor equipment materials starting to move on up here. Let me take a look at the Qs, see how the Qs are performing right out the gates. Looks like we're having a little chop.
Yeah, and real quick, update to my trade here. Again, this is SNTG. I'm in this here, buy price 305, huge seller wall at 315 that they're trying to chomp down. And think if they take this and it pops, I'm probably out here. There was another seller wall at 311 that they took. We're building above that. Let's see if we can actually get above this 315 here. Volume on this has been incredible. One of the things that kind of kicked this off for me is I saw some pretty incredible volume in the pre-market. Really hoping that we can actually push above this 315 level. We'll see if we end up taking that down. I imagine if we do take that down, we pop to probably the 320s, maybe the mid 320s, and we'll end up closing the order there. We'll see if this works.
Oh, the FOMO hitting me today, Ryan. You want to know why?
Tell me about it.
I shorted GM yesterday on a put, a YOLO. Mitch doing a YOLO, and guess what happens today? Today it wants to break down. So yesterday I got stopped out over 59. Didn't want it to see it hold over 59. It kept holding. I was like, when are we going to get the breakdown? Come on. And then finally at the end of the day, the SPY started breaking down, and I was like already out of the trade. And I'm just like, ouch. Probably today is going to be that day. Look at it right out the gates. Look at that.
That happens, my man.
Oh,
So let me ask you, when that happened, did you rechase the stock?
no, I actually got
Then
out of
you
the
won.
trade.
Then you
I
won.
got out of
Then
the
you
trade.
suppressed that FOMO and you didn't put yourself in a worse position.
Yeah, I wanted to chase it. I wanted to get back in it. But one thing that I try to do often is have a little ticking time bomb also. This one was just pushing and pushing and pushing, pushing. They didn't want to get breakdown. And now you're seeing that breakdown. Nice little breakdown there. 58.90 all the way down to 58.10s. I had the 58 put for the week. Oh, I'm pretty sure they're up about like 50% on the day. We'll see what happens. Let's keep going. Give the thumbs up. What's going on out there? James, I hope you're doing good. I don't know if you were able to nail that trade there, but definitely I know you're watching them. All right, looks like going to catch up with the chat. I'm going to try to run through some of these that you guys are bringing in there. Martine is bringing up Jasper, JAPR, JSPR. I remember that name. Jasper Technologies. Oh, there, Therapeutics. There you go. The halted stock there, 984s.
Ooh.
Made a move from $9 to 984.
This one can move
JSPR.
too. Jasper can move.
Yeah, low float. Be careful out there, guys, but definitely fast mover there. Ocular Therapeutics. Let's take a look here. Not a bad looking chart. Like that VWAP hold that it just did through 1220s, now getting up there to 1240s. If you attack this one, I would look for any pullbacks to 1230 holding. So it can go to the bid, maybe 1228, but you wouldn't want to see that 1225 crack. I would look for a nice extension through 1250. Look for some sellers up there or some buyers to step up. All right, going to keep running through. I'm trying to get through as many as I can right now. So
you're doing a great job.
Array is going down towards 1986, going down there towards 1980s. I know a lot of people were probably playing this above 20. Just be careful because this one has already made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be a 6-day move here. So it's kind of running in front of the solar names. So it's a leader right now, not a laggard. What I always look for when I'm looking at my industry and sector analysis is which one's the laggard. That's the one I want to be going after, not the leader, because the leader has probably already made the move and is looking for a pullback. All right, keep going. Let's go. QS by Sal. Seeing that one push on up there towards 25. Nice little pullback towards 23. What did we see, guys? A gap fill. Guys, I've been seeing these gap fills so many times. When a stock gets strong in this type of market, look for it to fill that gap and then come back up roaring. That's exactly what's happening in QS today. I don't mind this one. I really do like this one long term, but this is a SPAC play that you have to understand. This is a long-term play, but if QS can get their battery right, yeah, without a doubt, it's going to be a good stock. We'll see what happens here. It's trying to hold 25. If I take a look on the 5-minute, I could see that 2470 was a big resistance that it broke out of. So look for a pullback closer towards 2480s or 2475 because it's already holding VWAP right now. If it holds VWAP, just let it go if you didn't get in. But from here, I would look for an actual dip down towards 24s and 73s and see what happens in QS. SPY looking strong. And guess what happens? Look at the bros.
Uh-oh. What's
look at the bros
doing?
Just look at the screen.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's how it goes, though, guys. I could have maybe held this one. I was looking for pullbacks. This one looks like it's going to rip here. But the big thing for me was that when I established the trade plan, it was to 50. It wasn't to 60. I wasn't trying to be greedy. I haven't been in a time where swing trades have been giving me the 20 to 30%. So I averaged down on my sweet spot. My sweet spot's usually between 20 to 30 on swing trades. I went down towards 10 to 15 because I wanted to make sure that I'm getting some more consistency. But what did I do on the risk side? I also halved it. And normally I go towards a 10% risk, and now I'm closer towards a 5% risk.
And real quick, I just want to answer the question here. Kevin says AMD breaking out ? Yes, AMD is in fact breaking out. Good call there. Looks like we're actually going to push higher here. James is saying, look at CRISPR. He is out. So let's take a look at CRISPR. Remember, James gave us a trade.
Hey,
oh my God. Way to go, James. You gave us that trade plan. You gave us that trade plan before it happened.
You know what I call that? I call that boom, baby.
That's how we do it. Great job. Great job on CRISPR.
What up, Papa? Papa Bull in the house.
And
How we
actually,
doing out
CRISPR
there?
looks like if it builds above 97.50, we could have some more continuation here. So interesting.
All right, guys. So SPY is starting to flip here. Just be careful here. This is what I was kind of expecting. 945 coming into play here. I'm going to look to see if we start getting a flip or a push through 436. So we pushed up there to 435.25. We did a couple pushes. We had a pre-market look that it went from 845 all the way until right now upwards. Now I'm looking for the down play to start really hitting on this. We'll see what happens with these bros, though, extending up there, up through 50, almost 51 there. I'll keep an eye out on bros, but definitely moving fast there. Looks like DKNG also having a good day. Mentioned by Happy in the chat. I think I saw some hockey news on DKNG. Nice little push.
Well, hockey started yesterday, Mitch. The first 2 games of the hockey season were yesterday, and we've got a full slate tonight.
Come on, Ryan. I can't miss the Lightning. Of course I knew the Lightning played yesterday. Come on, bro. We're talking Tampa here.
You watched them take an L?
Of course. But guess what? Two Stanley Cups? We're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
We're
no,
okay.
for sure. Lightning are a real good team. I think well, whatever. We'll talk about Mitch. Sometime you and I got to have a sports back and forth show like PTI or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Look
Real
at
quick,
DKNG
real
there.
quick update on my trade. I'm out about flat. This really couldn't give me the pop that I wanted. Frankly, I should have been out closer to 320. Was hoping for a little bit more, so greed got the best of me. Out here near flat, I think up $20. I call that a scratch. So looking for a re-entry on this stock and any other potential plays.
Yes, Chris, 3 Stanley Cups. I agree. But I was looking at the last 2. Can't be mad about it. Mitch, we're Florida boys. Come on. Born and raised West Palm Beach. I'm a Miami guy. We taking over. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going, guys. If you guys see a stock you guys want to call out, go ahead and call it out. I'm actually looking for a day trade here. Let me start having some fun. I've been trying to do a little bit more commentary here for you guys so that you guys can find the plays. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into a little bit more trader mode here. Let's go ahead and make a trade, right? Let's find what we're seeing out there. So a lot of times I like to let the first 15-minute candle close. I don't know about you, Ryan, but if I'm definitely trying to really nail like a bigger trade, I'm looking for that first 15 minutes to close. And now I'm starting to look at the overall market to see what happens. And that's going to lead me if I'm going short or long.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a really good strategy. You want to wait for kind of those flippers to be out of there early on, and then that way you can kind of find the direction. That's kind of what's happening to me in SNTG, right? I bought it real early. I didn't wait that full 15 minutes, which is about to elapse right now. We're flipping back and forth, and here we are trading right around 320, 325. So again, probably should have stayed in this. A lot of back and forth. It's literally exactly what you were just talking about. Had I have waited for that first 15 minutes to elapse, I might not have had to make that decision early on. But live and learn. You are, gotta keep getting better all the time.
Of course, let's go ahead and see what happens here. Technology starting to get into the green here. I'm trying to see what's going to happen with this. Are we going to get a flip on the Qs also? Or are we going to get a breakout? Because if the Qs break out, I definitely think we can probably even see the overall market get a nice lift. Qs there did push really well. Now I'm going to see if this is the flip right here. So 360s is the level that I'm looking on the Qs to get above for it to show me some strength. It just went through that level, but quickly reversed from that level. I want to see that level get pushed through here if we're going to continue through that 360. If not, I could see us coming even back down towards 356 on the day. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, to my eye, Mitch, that actually, like, my gut tells me that that's just kind of like a healthy break from that push up from the pre-market. Yeah. So I seeing that red there, that doesn't really bother me at all. I'd love to see it hold and take a next leg higher here, frankly.
Exactly. That's literally that doesn't show me a bearish move at all. It just shows you momentum and pullback. The key is, does it catch the pullback and rip through the highs? Yep. That's what we're looking for. So what stocks are strong in the queue? Look at PDD. Look at this Chinese stock rip today. I'm sure Baba, JD also having great days. Man, I should have taken my Baba shot. I've always wanted to, but it's a harder stock to trade. I've traded it before, but yeah, definitely JD, PDD having great days. Look at JD. Whew. Straight candles up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5-minute candles. Look for this one to close green and then look for a pullback towards 80. That's what I'd be looking for. All right, let's take a look. Also, maybe some bigger stocks here. What are the ones that are holding right now? How's Tesla doing? It's still holding that 800.
Yep.
That's a
Holding
good
above
sign.
800. That's really all you need for it.
Yep. Baba up right now. HD pulling back a little bit there. We'll see what happens there. And let me take a look here at some bigger movers. Looks like HOFV's warrants are moving today, but those are warrants. I don't trade those guys. Those are too risky for me. Fubo having a decent day there, 3.68%. And with this being mentioned, watch for Roku to have a good day also. Let's see what happens if Roku.
And actually,
up also.
it actually might be moving on the back of Roku. Roku actually really strong out of the gate here.
Actually, I think they just run hand in hand.
Yeah.
A lot of it is we look for relationships, right? If you guys don't know about relationships, I would definitely check out this weekend. Dennis Dick is going to talk all about relationships. We talked about this Roku and Fubu one often. And if you look here on the weekly, look how this is really starting to set up. It's looking really great there at a 25 support. I actually might take a swing trade on Fubo. If I could get a pullback to 26 and I can risk about $1 on the name, I have no problem because to me, that chart looks beautiful. So you just got to push towards 2670. Think maybe a high there. Let's find the high, 2682. I'd look for a pullback closer towards 2610, 26 for a swing trade. If I wanted to day trade this one, I'd go even a little bit higher. I'd look for more of a 2630 move or 2625, somewhere in between there, looking for another push back up through 27.
It looks like on Fubo 25 looks like some pretty decent near recent support.
Yeah.
So I might actually trade that against 25. Stop maybe 24.75 or so. And I agree with the chat, James and Berlin talking about PLTR. Not a core holding for me, although I really like it. Definitely strong out of the gate here, and a pretty decent daily chart here. Definitely starting to form one of these near-term uptrends here. So would like to see this hold and keep moving on PLTR. Looking around, looks like Jasper's resuming JSPR.
Solar, I'm going to ignore your comment. He talked about Tampa buying championships.
I'm just glad hockey is back, man. I love hockey.
Oh, hockey's amazing, man. I've been really wanting to go back to an Avalanche game. I've been to a couple, but I haven't been able to get onto the glass. I need to.
Hey, man, the Avalanche they're gonna live up to the hype here. I mean, I feel like they get eliminated just a little too early the last couple of years here.
It's like an offensive team going in baseball. Like Tampa Bay really struggled because of pitching. That's how it is. You know, when you have a big offensive team,
yeah,
you got to worry a little bit about some of the defense side. I think that's what happens with the Avalanche. Avalanche score like crazy in the regular season, but I mean, in the playoffs, things get a little tighter, right, Ryan? And then
always playoffs are second season, my man. Totally different. Market's pulling here a little bit, guys. Be careful.
Yep. I mean, you got the flip, right? To me, GM's the one that's killing me right now. The FOMO's real. Look at the GM FOMO. The GM FOMO's real, guys. If you guys want to know, or you guys are newer traders, what's FOMO? This is it. When you close the trade the day before because you think a stock's going to crash, and then you see it crash at the open the next day, and then you're just like,
I could have. What? Why didn't I?
Could have. Should have. And this is the hard thing though, because one of the things that I do is I have a rule that I can't trade GM today, even if I wanted, even if I saw the perfect setup, I can't trade it today because what will end up happening is, at least from my probability and what we've always seen, is that when you go against and you start trying to really chase that FOMO, that's how you really just give back gains for no reason.
Yeah, and giving back gains is one of the most frustrating things about this job. We work so hard for the gains. When we carelessly give them back, it can really hit your morale. It's happened to me. It's how you deal with that. That's gonna.
Jasper opening up. Looks like we've had two halts. We went from a 975 10-minute halt to a 5-minute halt here at 945 towards 950, and now pulling back. We pushed up, pulled back. I always have the rule. I'm okay the first halt. I'm okay the second halt. I get out on before the third halt, because after the third halt, probability of a fourth halt being on the downside is actually pretty high.
Well, see, that's it for me, and you just hit it on the head right there for me. If you're buying into something that's all of a sudden got a whole bunch of volume and it's popping and running so much so that it's going to halt on a circuit breaker, if you're buying on the upside, that first halt is probably not going to be the death blow. That second, third, fourth halt, to your point, depending on how many people are trading it, that is in fact going to be the death blow. And you're right, Mitch. When you're in there, when you go from a halt to the upside to a halt to the downside, you want to talk about chop and talk about a big spread. That's pretty much the definition of it. I absolutely want to be out of that trade long before any of that happens. I don't even want to mess around with that. I know people that actually buy stocks coming out of halt if they drop in the hope that they bounce. Totally a viable strategy for me. If I'm going to take that trade, is if it halts and I'm in it, I'm out of there after that first halt. I don't even think about it from there. Real quickly, I want to shout out Hood. Chris in the chat is asking about Hood. Hood, real interesting here. We are at the support. Do or die for Hood here, right? This actually goes all the way back to its IPO day of July 29th. This level here
there,
really
guys.
important at 40.
Look at the SPY. Be careful there, guys.
Be careful.
What did we talk about? Coming back towards the low. And that's what I was thinking about. The Qs. Let's see the Qs. Q's trying to hold the 200-day right there. It definitely broke back down below that 358 where I wanted to see it hold. It needs to get back towards 360. 360 can show us a little bit of strength there. Let's see what happens here. Burrow's starting to go sideways there on the VWAP. If you guys want to take a look at that trade, that's potential there. I could try to day trade it back towards 51, but that just doesn't make sense for me to really try to day trade this one. When you start trying to do day trades, swing trades, you get a little bit confused and you could end up making an error of judgment. And that's really important here. You want to at least have the trading plan correct. And to me, what was the trading plan? It was a red to green move, right, on Bros. Instead, I got an opposite. I have a green that could potentially go from green to red. I'm going to stay out of it and just say, hey, I missed the trade. That's how it goes sometimes. You can't be mad, because if you're looking at a stock to come up and you're seeing the story and you expect it to continue moving, it's okay to say that I took some gains and the stock continues to run.
Grom pushing, by the way. This one has been on the scanner the past couple of days. Yesterday had a really, really rough day, pushing back up into yesterday's range right now. Also, GSAT looks like that might have been setting back up. All right. Looks like 182 is going to be your spot on GSAT if we snap that. No rush, no position right now, just kind of looking for setups. BLRX also at day highs, 305 looks to be the day high, seems to be a seller while there. Ticker BLRX. There's a big volume pop in there. Unsure what's going on here. Don't see anything for it. Kind of looking around for some more opportunities here, folks.
All right, the SPY's cracking there down the downside there, guys. This is kind of what I was concerned about today. So I'm actually looking for some pullbacks here to try to
when stuff like this happens, Mitch, I think it's really important. We've talked about it quite a bit, right? Relative strength. So if we do continue to break down here in the SPY, finding things that are actually holding up against that trend are going to be potential targets for you to trade. That being said, don't necessarily force anything. Don't rush anything. If the trade plan's not there, don't try to force it, because that's how you're going to compound your mistakes and make things worse. We've got a market here that really hasn't found a bottom. Unsure where it's gonna find that. So just be careful, keep your tight stops, and stick to your plan. Really impressed with you dealing with your FOMO early on and then talking us through it. Days like today, days like today, this is the ones that get me, right? Because it's like, I was right. I do want to hit that. Maybe I can just make a little bit. Then as soon as you buy it, it reverses and you've compounded your problem. So hats off to you for sticking to your plan.
All right, guys. So I drew out the next resistance for Jasper, and look where it goes to. Dead on it, dude. Dead on it, guys. 1324 really acting like resistance right now. You could see it kind of hold up here. You see how it like holds up and goes sideways there? That's why you got to know your levels. Go back to the daily chart. Find it. Where's the levels? Right here. I had this level already drawn out. When did I draw this level? I drew it out actually. I drew this out September 23rd, guys, and now it's hitting it. So that's what it's about, guys. Always also, like, if you take a look at a chart, don't feel afraid to just draw the levels, leave it there, And you never know. You can come back to this name and all of a sudden see it react as a level. That's important. I had that line drawn, and I'm going to keep it there. So not a bad little move there. I'd look for retraces to 1050 here. But like we said, we've had 2 halts on this one. It could start coming right back down.
And Mitch, that's one of the reasons why I like charting stocks, even stocks that I don't trade. Right, there might be a trade later on in the future. You never know, and you might have those lines identified, and you might be able to focus on your execution more so than the setup. So I do the same thing, even if I don't trade the stock. I definitely want to chart it. Be as prepared as possible.
All right, so I'm going to start looking for some names in the queues to maybe see if I can find a dip to get into here. JD doesn't look too bad there. Splunk doesn't look too bad. Starting to see some of these come towards the VWAP. Autodesk, too expensive for me. If you guys see a cheaper name, I like mid caps. If you guys see anything out there in the mid cap world, let me know.
Yeah, and the only really new trades I've seen set up today have been some of these pennies, these smaller stocks. I know it's not everyone's thing. It is what it is.
IWM also coming down here. We'll see what happens here. I think the SPY is trying to find a support. So this is when I start seeing if the SPY can find a support, right? So look at the 1 minute. You see what? You see a bottoming action, bottoming action, bottoming action, bottoming action. So on this 5th candle, I don't want it to test that 432.75. This will be a 5-minute close off of a bottom. So that's kind of the approach that you can take there. And some people like to do the reversal swings. You could take that swing, hold it off that bottom. That's okay too. Some people like to do it off of the support there and try to call the bottom there. But what I do is I look for the next candle to really just close above that 432.75. And then we don't want to break that again, because we're just going down towards the next level.
Yeah, and if you take a look at AMD, for example, that's just hit new highs. That had no problem. Pull up AMD on your chart there, Mitch. That had no problem moving against the markets. This is what I was just talking about with relative strength. You were outlining where we need to hold in the SPY. When you see something like this, this tells me that there's something here. There's some underlying strength going on here for sure.
Yep, and it's going to be in what sector? You're going to see the semiconductors. So if you see, what do we want the Qs to do? We want them to reclaim 360s and then get on up there, showing us strength in the tech names. With that being said, you can look at some other names. PDDD doing well. Tesla, how's that doing? Holding 800. We'll look to see if that one can break on out. Apple, how did it do? Looks like they got to pull back towards down. Yeah, pull back towards 139. Didn't get through the 139 level, which is support right now. I'd want to see it to get towards 135. I've talked about that. We'll see if it happens here. Bros trying to turn around there at the VWAP. The FOMO is real when you see a pattern like this. Really, really simple pattern here. The question is, does it hold? Man. Right? Hard pattern not to attack, right, Ryan?
Look at it now. As soon as you finish drawing that line, it started to break out above that trend line. Oh man, that's funny.
So one of the things that I would look on this is the 3 levels on the downside, right? You guys know how I like to look at for 3 attempts. What did you get right here? It started to try to break, and now you start seeing that hold to 50. You just want to see it hold 50. As long as it holds 50, you know that at least you have a level to lean off of.
How about that high of day coming? How about that? I think, to me, this chart looks like you're going to retest that high of day. What do you have there? 51?
Ryan, you see these hands?
I see them.
I got to sit on them.
For sure.
You got to sit on them. They talk about this sitting on your hands. Wait till the day that you actually do it. I literally do it. I sometimes just sit on my hands, just sit on them. Literally, just
got to make sure you don't press the buttons. You have to do whatever you can to make sure you don't press the buttons.
Just hands off, hands on the butt. Hold off. Because when you tell yourself, the one thing you don't want to do, especially with a stock like Bros that has a jumpy spread, is be careful. The ask moves on this one sometimes spreads out 30 cents. You got to be careful in day trades where your spread is spreading out, I think, more than 5 cents. You got to be careful.
Mitch, let's take a look at Jasper. Gapped up 50 cents. Good. We got Hertz Scrambler, Berlin calling it out in the chat. Look at Jasper. This thing just absolute staircase up out of the gate today.
It doesn't want to turn around. I'm surprised it hasn't gapped again. Well, what we got here, 18% on the first breakout, 13. The key is the speed slowed down a little bit there.
Yeah. I think that if when we were talking about this from the open here, I think that if you're in this, I think it's probably a good idea to trim here. If you think this goes higher, trim, book some of those gains. Don't give this back up. You get caught in a downside haul, all these gains can be gone in a matter of a few minutes. So be sure to book some of those profits and stick with that. Otherwise, though, it looks real strong. As long as this volume keeps up, there's no telling what this thing can do. This thing has run in the past too, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah.
All right, so I'll show you guys an indicator you guys can use if you were trading this to kind of follow off of. Look for an out signal based off of an indicator versus the price action. So you see this ADX here on the bottom right here. This is what I'm going to kind of show here. Let me try to actually make the line a little brighter for you guys so you guys can see this ADX a little bit more. Line width, let's go a little bit deeper here. There you go. Now you guys should be able to see it. So one of the things that with ADX, what is it really trying to give us? It's trying to give us the trend and the intensity of that trend, the momentum of it, right? So when you get that crossover here, that's what you see right here on this first action. What you're looking for is it for it to cross back down. That's going to show you that it's starting to break down from those levels. A lot of this is also going to come off of when the ADX is lower near that 20. And if you can also see the RSI is going to be probably near a lower mark. You want to see it on the bottom, showing you an oversold signal and flipping the momentum. So the ADX flips there and you start seeing it come up there. Now you can just follow that and look for the cross back down. It can go as high as 100, but you're not going to see it usually up at that high. If you look on the past, where has this one turned around prior? It's turned around at 69 and it's turned around at 60. And so that's what you can start seeing. And so in the past, if that one hasn't gone past those levels, you want to see where the highest of the trend is. So if we take a look here on the daily, it's gone all the way up towards about 60 before, but hasn't really held past that. So that's kind of the level that I'd start seeing to see if we can get a retrace from those levels. And now we're getting up there towards 63. And so that'd be kind of giving me the sign. If this crosses over here, I definitely want to go ahead and get out.
Now, Mitch, in your experience, how lagging are these indicators? Or in addition to that, do they ever throw false signals where you buy and then it crosses back down and you're like, I'm not sure it's going to keep going? Is that something that you risk with this one?
Yes, of course. You risk it with every indicator, really. At the end of the day, you're always going to get false signals. One of the things that you can learn from being a technical an analyst is that there's no one indicator that gives you an answer. It's a combination of indicators that can give you an outlook to make your trading decisions. Now, of course, like I just said, I wouldn't use ADX to get me in. Now, I don't mind using it on the out because what is it? It's a momentum indicator.
Right.
And so to me, that makes sense there. Now you're using something to tell you that momentum is changing, not that momentum's done, but is changing. And so you have to determine what works best for you, what combination of variables works for you out there. And that's why I always talk about that I have tried to do a 3-variable approach where I'm only taking technicals as a part of my trading process. And I'm also looking at story. I'm also looking at fundamentals. Do the analysts agree to this stock? Is the story hot like it is in Bros? That's what I'm looking for. And when I combine all three, those are my best trades. And that's the ones that I want to consistently trade. But like always, I mean, we're going to have trades that are outside of that. And what we need to do is try to figure out what works best for yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking about what works best for yourselves, our chat, you guys are really making this show amazing. A couple of things I want to hit here real quick. James and Mike look like they're done for their morning sessions already because they've made so many successful trades. Shout out to you guys. Pat yourself on the back. Hertz Scrambler in JSPR at 1080, out at 1448. Way to go, my man. That's 3 points of profit right there. Awesome job. And I wanted to address something else here. We had a question from Susan in the chat. Prague to 20, it's trending on Reddit and Twitter. Is that possible? So, Susan, This is a great question. Yes,
Cross.
it is. It is possible. It absolutely is possible. But please understand what's going on in the hypothetical situation. We have a $2 stock here with a 90+ million float. In order for this thing to go to 20 because it's being pumped on Reddit and Twitter, that means that it's got to have an enormous following. These stocks, they can be whatever they want. If people are going to run if there's enough volume and they're going to run these stocks, they're going to run them. But just because you saw some report or a group of people saying, hey, this is going to 20 because of XYZ on Twitter or Reddit, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go there. If you're going to trade this, follow the volume, follow what the stock is telling you, follow what your plan is. Don't follow someone's super bullish 10x thesis on Reddit without doing some of the checks yourself or without thinking about your own risk profile in that particular trade. My gut tells me that Prague doesn't go to 20. I could very easily be wrong. I said SPRT wasn't going to go much higher than 30. It went to 60. It went back down to 6. But before that, it went to 60. So just understand what it is that you're trading and have a plan in case it moves in either direction.
All right, starting to look for some trades here. I'm looking through sector and industry analysis. We got about 23 minutes until I get on out of here. Spencer will join us at 10:30. You guys got a stock to call out. Definitely call it out in the chat. James, looks like you guys had a good day. Easy. That's what I like to say. Plan a trade, trade a plan. That's what it's all about. Easy, right?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we don't try to take a planned attack, what does that do? Is it just kills your probability. And there has to be some kind of edge in this market for you to trade it. And if there isn't an edge, then just stick out. Wait till you see what an edge really is. Until then, I would say look for different strategies that match your personality, and then you'll find what an edge really is. All right, looks like Ben's World's talking about any.
Let's take a look.
I haven't taken a look. Before you tell me, Ryan, I thought any would go down today. I did call it out last week for an up move, but I thought it found a little bit of resistance. Let's take a look. Oh, what happened?
Resistance. Technically, we're still up on the day. It's early. Let's wait because this chart tells me that you might be right, my friend.
Ryan, this morning we get into the pre-market show. Dennis actually had this one based off my call out. And before I look at the pre-market chart, I'm just looking at the daily because you can't see it, right? Pre-market doesn't show it on the dailies. You're not going to see it. And I was thinking, I could see a move trying to get to $8 and then reversal. And then I go into the 5-minute and I'm just like, oh, it already did it.
It literally did exactly what you were saying. So look at that.
That's what you guys got to do, guys. Just think about what you think the stock is going to do. If it does exactly that, that's called execution, and you can execute on that. But if it doesn't do it, then you just completely stay away. Because one thing, if I'm expecting a stock to do something, it does completely something else. I'm not going to go ahead and just try to be so subjective that I'll flip on that trade and then try to trade the opposite of my own thinking. So what you have to do is just find what works, what you're looking for, and what can continue working. So to me, if I saw this move pre-market, I'd be looking for a VWAP fade because that's what I'm expecting. And that's kind of the same move you get here, a breakdown of support, pull back to the VWAP, then breaking through that low, and you're looking to take some profit into the breaking of the low and to the next level of support. Next level down to me would be down towards 715 or 710.
And real quick on any, if you take a look at that daily chart, you'll notice that we actually have 2 consecutive inside candles, at least on my daily chart. Let me try to refresh it. I got 2 consecutive inside candles. You must be showing the pre-market on your candles. That's exactly what it is. So to me, if you're a stratter out there, we know our stratters love them candles. You've got a 3-1-1 here. Eventually, this is going to break out. And I can't tell you which direction it's going to break out in, but the direction that it breaks out, you're going to get a pop, and there's going to be a tradable event there. So keep that on the radar. I also want to shout out Voodoo saying, Mitch and Ryan, this is the meat and potatoes of the show. Today is an example of what this show should be and do. Voodoo, that sounds like a compliment. That sounds like this show helped you this morning. And if that's the case, that is awesome. That is exactly why Mitch and I are doing this. We are Mitch, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are the only people doing a live trading show completely for free for people on YouTube. Do you know of anyone
Yeah,
else
I
that's doing that?
mean, I know other traders that do it out there, but they're definitely sponsored, and that's why they're probably doing it. But I'll tell you right now, one thing that Ryan and I are going to give you is we're just going to give you us,
Yep.
really how we look at it. And there's one reason why we're not making money if you guys out there watch us or not. You know, we're going to
We're
continue
trading.
doing what we're doing, right?
We're,
And
we're
so
making money if we execute trades. We're not making money for being on this show. That's right.
majority of the times you'll have what's called a conflict of interest with people that you're getting into chat rooms with and things like that. Right here, I have no conflict. I don't have to have an interest of giving you guys the winning trades. I'm just trying to give you guys what I see in the market.
And the reality is that we're just like you. We're not some hedge fund guys with ultra wealthy, tons of money and resources. We're just like you. We're trying to figure this out. We're trying to work towards our financial independence. So we want to help. We want to be there. We want to be someone that you can lean on. Just getting back to the market here, Jay Rice saying cyber names are ripping. S, FTNT, CYBR, PanW, Hack, etc. CYBR here breaking out of what looks like a double top here at 171. Real clean snap up at 175 here. This one, I actually really like this. I started looking at this when this stock was about 20, one of my bigger long-term misses. This one definitely could run. Rich is asking, how long have you guys been trading? Rich, I have been trading on a daily basis for 7 consecutive years. I hope to do this until the day I expire.
Man, you beat me. I don't have 7 years, but I got the 5. I got the 5 years under my belt, and I can't say I miss any time in my old days. When I first started, I saw a bunch of parabolic stocks. I've done it all, guys, from day trading to swing trading. If there's probably a strategy, I've probably traded it. So if you guys have any questions you guys ever have, if you guys just want to talk about the markets, always reach out. We'll always be there for you. The Qs, man, look at this. Remember I talked about that I wanted to see it get back above VWAP and hold? What did we get? We got a rejection down. The chop fest
now
is
let's see if
on.
we hold that support, because it looks like we're trying to bounce off that.
It's the chop fest. You get like these quick trades in this market. These quick trades, like even this one, like AMD, I wouldn't expect to go back towards 109. Why? Because you got the lift. You got a lift. You got a lift. It's trying. And it just turns around. We're seeing this common where you get the first pattern. It looks like it's going to set up for the secondary move. And we're not getting many continuations. That's what I'm noticing, at least from my patterns and what I see out there. I see starts of moves, but no continuation. And that's the hard part to trade. Like bros, look how it fake people out there. You see? Nice little fake lookout. Starts pushing up. What does it do? Boom. There's no way you could have been holding if you're into this trade.
By the way, that top reversal candle there, that one that hit 50.75, if I recall correctly, that's when you started to sit on your hands. Maybe a candle or two before that. You sat on your hands for a reason, didn't you?
There's a reason why, Ryan.
Yep.
There's a reason why.
Yep, we've seen that.
All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's have some fun. Martine is talking about some swag available. You know what? Come tomorrow. I'm gonna do a little bit of a giveaway.
Ooh, there we
you
go.
Guys come tomorrow. I'll give you guys a giveaway. All right, guys, let's definitely go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Mitch is trading only source of income. No. And I don't even recommend that at first, because the problem with that is that there's just too much pressure. If trading is your only source of income, guess what happens when you don't trade well or you start making mistakes? You don't eat. And none of us want to get to that point, right? I mean, I don't think Ryan wants to get to that point. I don't think I want to get to that point. So one thing
I've been there. I've been there straight up. So I'll take a stab at this question too.
Yeah,
no, this is not my only source of income. Obviously, I work for Benzinga. I have a whole host of responsibilities. Let me tell you something. One of the things that is not in there though is this show. So what I was saying earlier is we do this show because Mitch and I are both trying to better the ecosystem for Benzinga. If you guys are making money because of something that we're doing, that's what we're in this for. We will continue to try a bunch of different things, whether it be shows, new new ideas, new products, new tools within Pro, whatever it is. If we can find a way to help you, we're going to keep doing that. That's one of the things that we work for. Now, as far as actually trading, I completely agree with Mitch. I actually tried to have trading be the only source of income that I have, and Mitch is exactly right. Sometimes you just don't eat. Sometimes it doesn't work for you. It goes against you. If you're newer, I absolutely advise that you have some type of other source of income when you're trading. That is going to allow you to have more time. That's going to allow you to better control your emotions. That's going to allow you to create better plans and learn from your mistakes. And if you can do that, you can make this successful. Remember, you only need to get rich once. Don't blow it trying to rush it. Just do it smart, do it slow, but be deliberate about it. That's the best piece of advice I can give you.
Definitely, I would agree with that. And what did we just get, guys? We just started crossing over on Jasper. I want to go ahead and bring this up. I talked about the ADX, so let's see if it actually works. Right there's the crossover. The crossover is right here. I'm going to draw a circle on it. This is the candle that it started crossing over on that 16 push. So now you don't want to see it wrap back around, right? So you see that crossover. You don't want to see it wrap back around. You're okay. If that was where you got out, that would be the top. That'd be 16. Not a bad little trade if you got in that one. And that's where we got the cross. All the way until there. On that candle is where we got the cross. So if I was, let's say, in this trade at 11 and I held it through that ADX, how much more did I get? Because I tried to use a little bit more of an indicator, not just only my ability to judge price action. And so that's why I like that kind of trade. And I like, no indicator is going to be perfect, but just find what works for you. About going back towards the source of income question, for a long time, Ryan, I did trading in the morning and an afternoon full-time job.
Yep.
It was hard. Yes. I get out of work sometimes 11 midnight and have to be back up at 5 in the morning. But guess what? It was worth it to me to continue trade and not have that pressure of that I needed all of it to be on my trading. And I still made money and was able to focus on the skills of trading versus just the money aspects.
That's really important. And I'm glad that you said that, because the more that you focus on actually trading as opposed to just focusing on the dollars and cents, that's how you're going to be more successful. We actually had a question here. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I apologize if I'm not. Sewell, you're asking, how did you learn? To be quite honest with you, I learned from making mistakes, trial and error. And so there's a key lesson in there. Don't ever set yourself up to make a mistake that wipes you out of this game. Do not go all in on things. Do not put 100% of your account or even large parts of your account behind one play. Diversify, learn from your mistakes, and make sure that you don't take yourself out. I blew up 2 accounts before I got to where I was today. My first account was $500. I blew that thing up in a couple of weeks. My second account was $1,000. Took me about a month, blew that up too. Finally started with my third account that was $2,000, and I haven't had to fund a new account since then. So again, you're going to go through some rough times. It's how you respond to that that's going to make you a better trader. And then to give you a little bit more specifics, one of the things I did, books. Anyone with more experience than me that was willing to teach me things. Be sure to pay attention when people are telling you stories about mistakes that they've made or losses that they've incurred, because they've often learned lessons from that they're trying to pass on to you. So there's a ton of free resources online. YouTube is a great resource. Again, you have to put in the effort. This is not something where you're just going to be able to click some buttons and all of a sudden you're going to be a millionaire with a Lambo. It doesn't work like that. And if you think it works like that, you're going to be very, very disappointed. Put the work in. Mitch is telling you about a time where he's probably working 16 hours in a day to get to where he was now. And there's still another step beyond that. Don't ever give up. Literally
16 hours. I could say that's what I would do, Ryan. That's what I was putting in. So if you guys think that you guys can't do it, you guys just aren't trying hard enough. Look at this choppy market, Ryan. This is what I'm talking about, where you get a perfect pattern, right? Perfect pattern in that box. But what happens here? The chop zone, it washes people out and recovers. This is how you get stopped out as a retail trader. And then you're looking at yourself just like, the hell just happened, dude? Like, what just happened? Like, did I really just get stopped out? And now the stock is like this? This is what I say, stick to the trending markets. Because if it's not trending market, then you can get washed out all the time through moves like this. And I don't want to be just, I mean, if I just want to take a wash, I'll just go take a shower or hop into the pool. I don't want to just be continued chopped up by the market. This is how you can get chopped up. I don't think there's a lot of traders that were able to hold through a what was the risk to return? Because that's what always matters, right? And so the return was about 1.82% up, 91 cents to the upside. And the risk would have been maybe 25 cents, maybe 50 cents. If you're a little bit ballsy there, I'll say it, 49.50 maybe was your risk. But guess what? This stock went all the way down towards what? 429.27. There's not many people that are going to be able to hold for a $1 gain with a 75-cent risk. That's the definition of a choppy market.
Hey, Mitch, did CEI ever break that high? Nope. Good call on that one. Know your levels, by the way. We talk about this all the time.
What did I say? I said closer towards $1. I'd take that lunch bet from here towards 3 now. I give you $1.
I think that what you said was that it will never be above, or it will not go back above 450. I don't think you used the word never. I think you said that it will not go back above 450 and it'll be closer towards $1. Look at that chart, baby. That's called, Mitch.
It's just what happens with penny stocks, guys. This is experience. This is not being a genius. I don't have a crystal ball. I just know that if it's the overcrowded trade for 3 days, and then you get a market that rips up with other trades that are popping up on retail traders' minds and retail traders' scanners, the psychology takes over. And guess what happens? People stop looking at CEI. They looked at it, but then they see the 1 minute market when that day of this big red candle happens. And what's going to happen when you immediately see the stock down 20%? You take it off your scanners. It goes off your scanners. It goes off of everything. And you just stop looking at it. That's what happens. Yep. It's psychology, guys. It's not, we don't have there's no crystal ball here. A lot of it is also understanding the psychology of traders and the psychology of retail traders, which is hard to understand. I mean, if we take a look at AMC, that's kind of I would say a retail stock, and it's hard to understand a lot of the times. GME had a good Monday, pulling back inside day. We'll see what happens with that one, right? When we get those 2 inside days, we'll see what happens on that. All right,
real quick, I wanted to shout out Voodoo here. Voodoo saying, Mitch and Ryan, market is not correlated today. It produces a lot of chop, which is what we've been talking about for a while. Better to sit and watch for levels. That's what noobs need to learn. It takes time and patience. I agree with that. And I would think that you use the term noobs in there, but I don't think you use that as any type of insult at all. That's the reality. People that are new to this, you need to understand how to identify levels, and then also how to wait for your trade, how to wait for the stock to come into your levels so that you can enter and be as protected as possible. It's more difficult, like Voodoo is saying, it's more difficult on days like today when there are things that are not correlated and some of your indicators are thrown out of whack. So sometimes the right trade is no trade.
Draw yourself a box. Where do I want to see the trend change? I want to see the trend get out of this box. I drew a box here, 10 on October 7th. It's been now, 6 days since that, right? We're talking about right here. I started drawing the box, and I said 440's resistance, 426.95 on the downside. It needs to get out of that zone. Until it gets out of that zone, I don't want to be caught in the chop. There's too many times I give back gains, guys, because I'm trading a choppy market, not waiting for the next rip up. We need to get out of this chop. Need to look for the next leg up. If it's a leg down, it's okay too. I can learn to short. I've done it before. But the big thing here is don't trade in the chop. Wait till this SPY gets out of this levels, because what you're going to get is you're going to get these moves where it just goes up slightly, then comes all the way back down. Up slightly, all the way back down. And that's a difficult market to trade. I don't want to be trading stocks that do like Bros just did today, where stocks are just not holding levels, breaking down, then coming all the way up. And then if you went and you longed into this, The next thing you know, you see it back down towards VWAP. You get stopped out again. It's like, good Lord, I don't want to be stuck on this. Spencer, you have some mad feedback, my friend.
Mad feedback.
Oh gosh, is it good or bad?
Bad feedback, not a good feedback.
What is it?
I think is your phone nearby?
My phone?
There, it's gone.
Done. That is weird. You got
What?
some metal. You got some metal in you, Spencer, that I don't know about.
Oh, you mean like audio feedback?
Yeah, you were getting some magnetic. Are you Magneto?
Wait, what are you?
It's
What?
gone now, Spencer. It's gone now. As soon as you joined, there was really, really bad audio feedback. It sounded like a buzz, like you had your phone on vibrate on top of your microphone, and you're just.
Oh no,
that's gone now, though. You're good.
Oh, I thought you meant like. Oh, you know what? Hold on, let me check my connection. I'm using a really cheap USB headset because the microphone that I got from the office is like so sensitive, and it picks up everything, and I can't have that obviously. So this is working for me. But sorry about that. This is temporary. But I was just listening to you guys talk about Shop Fest. And one other way to approach that is look out, maybe not for like day trades, look out for some longer term swing stuff. Right? You got to go out on your time horizon.
That's tough. That's tough.
On that time. Yeah, it is. I'm not saying
It's
it's easy,
tough.
but that's one way I would maybe like if I was looking for like opportunities, I would say, okay, forget the day trades, and we're going to bring on David Green in 2 minutes here, who's always making day trades. But I would say, hey, if it's not working for me, I would just go out longer term. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I actually, I want to let Ryan wrap up and talk about his wrap up, but I would love to bring on DG to talk about a question that was mentioned in the chat right now.
Okay.
With Jay Rice. So Jay Rice bringing in, what happened to letting your winners run and cutting your losers short, right? And so one of the things that happens, this is a battle. I battle it myself, guys. I've tried to do kind of more of a letting winners run, but there's always the question, right? Do you add to the winners, or do you?
It's so hard.
It's hard, you stay to your average? I'd love to hear what DG has to say. Because
all right. Let's get David on. I bet you I know what he's going to say.
Yeah,
I bet you David's going to say, "I cut my winners and I cut my losers. I cut them all." But let's see. Am I right, David?
No.
No. Okay. Okay.
That's my guy. That's my guy. Tell him how it is.
Here's the idea. The idea is to definitely cut your losers. I mean, and look, are we talking about day trading? We're talking about investing, right?
We're talking about day trading.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely want to cut your losers, but you want to get the most out of the winners that you can. That's the only way, that's what puts the odds in your favor of making money when you're day trading. And a lot of people have a huge problem with this, guys, and especially beginning traders, right? Because, and it's weird with beginning traders, they'll let their losers go much longer and cut their winners more quickly, which is the exact opposite of what you should be doing.
Yep.
So, have a plan for every single trade that you get in and let that plan play out. If we get in a certain trade and we're looking to make between 25 cents and $2 on a stock, I'm not selling it for a 10-cent gain. I'm selling some of it and I'm a big proponent. Every trade you get in, especially day trading, immediately take some profits out of the trade. And then what I'll do is just bring my stop orders up to break even. I can no longer lose on that trade. And you let the rest run and see if you can get more. Example, we just grabbed a little of this Jasper. We had a Fibonacci at 1520, which we grabbed. We grabbed some at 1520. The stock's now at 1570. We're going to take 50 cents on this trade and say, thank you very much. We're done. We bought it at 1520. We just sold it at 1580. Everybody in the room just took 60 cents out of that trade. It took about a minute and a half. So, we have people in the room that are trading, beginning traders that are trading 10 shares every time they make a trade. And very advanced traders, a couple guys in my room just grabbed a couple of thousand shares there and took $1,600 out of the trade in about a minute and a half. Again, we're not doing anything unless our technical analysis lines up. But just to get to your guys' point, it's the exact opposite. Get out of your losers very quickly. Sell some of your trades for a profit so you can't lose money. And then let the rest ride. There's no better feeling in the world than when you get into a day trade and you take that first winning part of it out. Because now I know I cannot lose money on that trade.
Yep.
Raise your stops up to break even and try to get more. Look what Jasper's doing right now. It just went up another 40 cents.
And
Right?
I was going to ask you, David, you were just talking about how you just took 60 cents in the Jasper, happened in just a couple of minutes. Great trade, by the way. Well, my follow-up question was going to be, if that goes up another 40 cents, are you going to get upset about that? Or are you just going to set up for the next trade?
No, the trade's over. Are you kidding
Exactly.
me? 100% the trade is over. And again, once you build up a little size and you're doing a little bigger trades in these things, what the hell is wrong with making $600 or $800 in a minute in a stock? You know, you do that twice a day, you're making $300,000 a year. And I'm not saying it happens every day, and you have losing trades also. Yep. But if I'm losing 25 or 30 cents on a trade and I'm making between 50 cents and $1, and we're waiting until things set up before we get in them, which puts the odds in our favor of the trades working by using the technical analysis, net, if you follow the rules all the time, which again, guys, is the hardest thing in the world to do. We know that. Most people do not fail at any kind of trading because of the technical analysis. Most people fail because of what's between our ears. And it's the hardest part of it. It's not even a question. Okay?
You are your own biggest
not even
enemy. I say it all the time. You are your own biggest enemy. That's absolutely correct. I think that's really sound advice for everyone.
Yeah, and I don't care what plan you use. You know, nobody has the magic 8 ball. Nobody has an automatic trading system that's going to make money from them. If they did, they certainly wouldn't be selling it to anybody, right? But whatever it is that you do, stick to that plan. And listen, I talk about money management in my room every single day. Because we know it's the hardest part of trading. It is. Yep. And it's so easy. Guys, it's so easy to lose money doing this, right? We know that. It happens in 2 seconds that you can lose money on this. You lose your discipline. 90% of the people who are out there and listening and are in my room have 1 or 2 or 3 trades they can look back on and say, oh my God, I can't believe I effed that up so badly.
Yep.
And it cost me 10% of my account or 20% of my account. And it's very hard to come back from that. And that's why most people don't succeed in doing this. I mean, it's just a fact. You know, no one here blows smoke up anyone's puppet, right? It is what it is. But if you do have a solid plan and, more importantly, proper money management, I mean, this is something that can be done without question.
Are you still hearing feedback from me, guys, or is it better?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. What is going on?
We're still getting it, my friend.
What is going on? All right. You know what? It's because these cheap ass. I'll figure it out. But regardless, Ryan, Mitch, thanks a lot for coming on. No live trading rest of the week, obviously, guys. We've got our Cannabis Capital Conference, so I'll see you guys next week.
Check out the Cannabis conferences are awesome, though. Be sure to check them out.
We're ready for it. We're so ready for it. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you later. David Green, let's get your charts up on the screen here. I will try not to talk a lot if I'm getting
no, you can talk.
Apparently, I didn't realize it was that bad. I don't hear anything on my end, so I don't know. Go ahead and share your charts and fill us in what you've been aside from Jasper. What have you been trading today?
The room has been spectacular today. I just got to say that. In Jasper, someone in the room posted to buy it at $10.90, and a bunch of people jumped on it. $10.90. It was back here, and it actually was up a bunch, came down, hit our VWAP. A bunch of people in the room got in at $10.90 and have been enjoying the ride. I mean, most of them are at it by now. So Jasper, we're looking right now. If it pulls back to our 9 EMA, stock's in an uptrend. So we'll buy some if we get down to 1480. Idea behind a trend trade is it comes down, it hits the trend, stops going down, and continues into the uptrend. So that's the only one order we have out right now. You guys tell me, room, I don't remember. I think we've had 7 trades this morning, Spence. I don't think we've lost on any of them. It's been a really good morning. Technical analysis has been really good. Yeah, DATS. Let's talk about DATS for a minute. All right. So here is another one of these stocks where more people get in trouble than make money in them. This thing spiked up to $16.50 this morning. I think it halted once or twice on the way up, and now we're smacked down to $13. So I'm going to the daily chart in DATS, guys. And we have some support down around $11.86. So, I mean, is the bloom completely off the rose in this thing? Or is it going to bounce at some point? We're going to try that daily level. All right, let's try it, guys and girls. 1186.
1, 2, 3. Is that better? Test 1, 2, 3.
Yes, that's
Okay.
good.
Okay, I just switched my headphones, so hopefully that did the trick. Sorry, guys. All right,
Giovanni is up $630 with you guys today. Thanks so much. You just visiting, Giovanni? How about that, Giovanni? You just paid for a month in the room. God bless you.
Jay Rice, that is a perfect example of why to sell on the way up.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's what we preach all the time. So we're going to put out a little 1190 in this. Always take profits in these things and always have stop orders when they start going against you. You know, if we're looking at that, and again, this halted trading, but this bar right here, you know, when we broke these levels up here at around 1585, you know, that was a signal to me to not be in this trade anymore. And you can see what happened after that. I mean, God knows why it traded down like this. Who knows why it traded up? But now this trade is awesome. Thank you, guys. What happened in the spiders? $1.50 off the pivot. Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, so the spies this morning. Let's talk about this trade. All right, so the spiders were getting a little smackdown earlier today. So we have what we call our pivot point right here, which is a support level. That was at 431.50. It exactly hit that level, and it gave you a nice $1.50 off that trade. I'm trading 420 to 1,000 shares following his moves and learning on the job. Excellent. All right, we just got a little Jasper here, guys, on the 9. Let's take a look. JSPR. All right, guys, take some profits in Jasper. All right, sell half right here. We'll take 30 cents on half. Boom, chaka-laka-laka. All right, so let me show you Jasper, Spence. We just got in this trade. So we bought the stock. We just talked about this. We bought the stock at 1480. That was our 9 EMA, stock in a trend trade. We just sold half for a 35-cent profit at $15.20. Now we'll hang on to this and see if we can get back up to this uptrend. If we get above like 1550, 1560, we're back in this uptrend, and maybe we can get $1 on the rest of this. And now, as I just said to everybody earlier, okay, break even stop. I can't lose money on this trade now. We bought it at 1590. I can't lose money on it. We're going to take a little more profits up here. Now we got a 50-cent trade. Selling a little more up here at 1540. If we get to 1540, and then we'll see what the next move is in the stock. And now we have a break-even stop. There we go. We just sold more at 1540. Perfect. So here's another example, Spence.
Yeah.
Again, I get private messages all day long, and we have 120 people in the room. All right. Someone in the room, and this thing has traded, what, a gazillion shares today? Just grabbed 3,000 shares of this at 1490. Look, it just went up $1. It took how long? 10 seconds? This is the technical analysis. And now, guys, I'm not going to be a pig. I'm taking my profits right here. I am out at $15.90 for $1 on the last part of our trade.
See, this is why I like David, because you know whether you're in a trending market, we're in a choppy market right now. Whether you're trending, you're choppy. He's always his indicators, his technical analysis. It's flexible. It can work in multiple kinds of markets.
Yes, it does. And to be quite honest with you, the more volatility we have, the better it is for us, without a doubt. But even when there's not a lot going on, there's always a Jasper. There's always a DAX.
Yep.
There's always 2 or 3 of these every single day, right? And my room is done for the day now. I mean, I just heard there's 120 people in. I just heard from 60 people. That's it. I'm done for the day. I'm not trading anymore. And you shouldn't. So let's talk about that for a minute, right?
It's also true.
When we talk about money management, okay? Everybody should have a goal as to how much money that is good for them to make on an average day. You're not going to hit it every day. You're not. Okay. But on the days that you do, you stop trading. You're done. That's it. The best part of what we do is our time is our own. As a trader, right, who's looking to make a couple of bucks a day. Okay. When you hit your goal, go. Get out of here. Enjoy your family. Play golf. Do whatever it is that you do when you're not here. But I can almost guarantee you it's not going to get better. I'll tell everybody right now in the room, it's not going to get better than it did this morning. If anything, it's going to get worse. Things are going to slow down. You get the heck out of here. That's it. You get out of here. And what we've all done, right? Let me look at Zoom. Hold on. No, we just missed Zoom by 9 cents. Can it for now? Yeah. What we preach in this room, and again, the reason I talk about money management so much, Spence, is because that's what this is all about. It's not about anything else. How many of us have been up $400 or $500, $1,000, $1,500, $500 at 11 o'clock and given it all back and ended up losing money? Give me a number one, guys. How many of us? I guarantee, I don't know how many people are watching, but I guarantee half the people have done that. And it is the worst feeling in the world. There is no worse feeling than being up money and ending up giving it back and losing money. So for a little tip for everyone out there.
I'm seeing exclusively ones in the chat.
Yeah, because we've all done it. That's why this is so hard to do, right? We've all done it. There's no worse feeling in the world than that. You say to yourself after you've done that, how could I have done that? I was up $1,000. And here's what happens. You have one bad trade, right? And then you say to yourselves, what we say to ourselves as the gambling part of it comes in, let me do one more trade, get that money back, and then I'm done, right? And then you'll have another losing trade. You'll get to the point where you're even, and you'll say, I didn't come here to break even, and you end up losing money. We have what we call, and it's not just me, 20% rule. If at any point you hit your goal and you feel compelled to keep trading, if you give back 20% of what you're up, you're done, shut off your machine, and go home. The hard part of that is nobody does this for you. There's not a switch, right? That is automatically, when you lost 20% of your goal, going to stop you from trading. That's why all the things that we're talking about, the psychological part of trading, are so hard.
And then on the other side of that coin, you're talking about making money, but if you it's also good to set a downside limit and say, hey, if I lose 2% of my account on any given day, I'm done, right?
And
or 3% of my account on any one day, I'm not going to try to. It's like being at the casino. No. I'll make it back. Let me just stay for another hour. I'll make it back. Nah, you might one out of every 10 times.
Here's our rule for that. Let me just look at Jasper now. So
yeah.
We got another level.
Handyman, David's trades are with stocks, not options.
Yes, but we do options. We are going to have bad days. It happens. A bad day for us is if we have 3 maximum loss trades in one day, we're done trading for the day. So in other words, let's say you're a 100-share trader and we risk 50 cents on our trades. The most you should ever lose in a day is $150. We'll come back from that. It's a bad day. It happens, okay? If you're looking to make $100 a day, you shouldn't lose more than $100 a day. And the reason for that is you can have 4 good days where you make $100 and have one bad day where you lose $900. Yeah. And where are you, right? And we've done it. We've all done it. So if we have 3 losing max trades in one day cumulative, that's it. It was a bad day. I'm done. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll come back from a bad day. It can happen 2 days in a row. I don't think it's ever happened to us 2 days in a row, but it can happen. The key is you have to cap your losses as well as capping your gains. 100%. 100%. Jasper, we're going to wait now. I like 14.10 in Jasper. It tested the 9 a couple of times, guys. So maybe it breaks through and gets down to the 15 EMA. So let's have an order out at 14.10. I would be a little aggressive down there too, guys. So for me, I'll put out 200 shares down there if we spike down there. And for everybody who's watching and listening and with us, DG trades very small. DG is here to teach you guys how to trade. My P&L doesn't mean anything, win, lose, or draw. Go ahead. SoFi. Yeah, guys. Yeah. How's everybody feeling in SoFi?
What are we at? We're now 8.19. Oh
man, 19.30.
I'm almost back to even on this thing.
We are, and it was my biggest swing trade, my biggest position, and I talked about it with Benzinga last month or a little while ago. 14.20 is our average, Spencer.
Oh wow.
We got in.
So you averaged down. I didn't. I just stayed.
No, I don't even think we averaged down. I picked the spot because we hit some level somewhere, whatever it was. Yeah, it was this day, I think, where we started, but we bought it, whatever it was. Our average is 14.20. I don't think we bought it more than once. But again, so even a long-term investment, right? Let's talk about that for a minute. I have sold stock, and this was my biggest swing position, and it was the biggest swing position for everybody in our room. But I've sold stock. I sold stock at 15, 15.50, 16, 16.50. And I'm probably down to about half of my stock now, and it's trading at 19 and change. I have a mental stop now if it goes back down to 18.50 to sell another 25% of my shares and hold on to 50%. This thing just got above, and again, I hate talking about it. I don't like to talk about things when they're going well.
Mhm.
But when we got above like 16.50, look at the chart, guys. That was a weekly chart. And then when we got above this 18, that was a nice breakout on the weekly chart. We really don't have much. Let's go to our daily in the way of resistance. Look, bottom line, we get to 20, I will sell more stock. I think this is
we are a dollar away. We're a dollar away almost exactly from my cost basis. Actually, we are a dollar away now from my cost.
All right,
basis.
so let me ask you this.
So, yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you didn't add when it was lower,
No.
right?
No.
Much lower.
No.
Okay. So if this gets back to your cost basis, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
You're going to do nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. What I would do, all right, this is what I would do. And again, I love this stock long term.
Yeah.
But if I'm down 7 points on a stock and it gets me to break even, I'm selling half of my position.
Yeah, there's a
I
case
am.
to be,
I'm
there's a
gonna
case
do
to be
that.
made. There's a case to be made.
And
sure.
then I'll look for a pullback to get back in. Look, this isn't going to go straight up,
Yeah.
days like this in a row. It's not. It's starting to get a little tiny. Look, the relative strength on a daily is 71. So if the relative strength gets near 80 on a daily level, I will definitely sell more stock.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because that will tell us that we'll get a little pullback at some point. And that's when you get back in. Look, I own Apple for many, many, many years. I sell it from time to time. You have to on your long-term investments. When you're up a lot of money, put some money in the bank. What's the worst that could happen is it keeps going up and you make money anyway. Right?
You're convincing me a little bit here. I could probably cut the position, but if it gets to, I don't know, say it gets to 22 on me, 23 on me, I could probably cut some of the position, cut a quarter.
Here's my question to you. How are you not buying more if there's something that you like for a long term when a stock goes from 20?
Because I don't like to add to I don't like to add to losers, right?
But you're still with it. You know what I'm saying? If the thesis is that I like this stock long term, you have to average into it. You have to, because you're going to be in it for the long term anyway. Correct?
Yeah. That was the plan when I started.
Okay, so then you have to get your cost basis down when something like that happens and it goes from 21 to 14 and the stock loses 40% of its value. Unless you change your thesis and you don't believe in the company anymore, you have to be buying more. You have to.
Well, it's a little bit late for that. So
I know.
Yeah. And all right, you know what? Yeah, maybe if I had more of an attention span, I would sell some covered calls or trade some options around it. Get paid for owning the stock, but I guess I could always do that. That would require me to sit down and focus.
Obviously, it wasn't 50% of your portfolio.
No. I'm talking what is it, like 3% or something?
Right,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 2%, 3%.
Again,
okay. Question.
I would have gotten up to 5% when it was down low.
Quick question from Blue Collar Lifestyle. Been investing for 2 years. David, this is a good question for you. Been investing for 2 years. Think about using margin. What are your thoughts on margin, and do you use it?
I use margin every single day. Again, I'm a day trader. Okay, so when you have a retail account with Interactive Brokers or Chuck Schwab, they give you 4 times whatever your buying power is to trade intraday. I do not do investments on margin, if that's what you're talking about, right? If you're doing longer term investments, you do not do it on margin. If you're a trader, you have to have you don't have to, but look, you need a minimum of 25 grand to be an active day trader in any trading account. To be an active day trader, avoid the PTD rule. And the beautiful part of it is, with 26 grand in my account, I can trade up to $100,000 worth of stocks at any point during the day. For example, in Jasper, right? If I wanted to in Jasper, a $15 stock, I could buy 5,000 shares and be using $85,000 in buying power. I could buy 5,000 shares. I'm not risking all $85,000. I'm risking whatever my stop is in the trade. So margin is a good thing when used properly and you know how to do it, but it's not for longer term investing. If that answered the question.
Yes, I think that answers the question. Yeah, blue collar depends on how it depends how you're going to use it. If you're going to use it for trades, use it for long term stuff.
Exactly.
I think
Myrna,
that's
guys, hold on. Let's look at Myrna.
I think that's a good way of summing it up.
Yeah, Myrna's not a short here, guys. Myrna's a buy. It's just a buy on a pullback, a firm.
Ooh, interesting question here.
Do it.
David, are your EMAs and pivot points, are they based off charts that include extended hours?
Yes, they are. And if you don't use extended hours, you're going to have different numbers than the ones that we did. Huh. So we're on Thinkorswim. Everybody in the trading room uses Thinkorswim. If they can't get, well, it doesn't cost anything to get, so you can get it. Some people have a different charting system, and if we can get the numbers close to what we're using, you're fine. But yeah, we include after hours. Guys, I'll just tell you the ones that we use. If you want to write them down, if you're not familiar, we use a 9 exponential moving average, 15, 65, 200. We use pivot points, which is an automatic setting in Thinkorswim, and we use relative strength. That's it. That's all the technical analysis I have in my charts. You know, some people have so much stuff in their charts. It's, you know, analysis by paralysis. What we do works for what we do. I think you guys in the room can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think we're like 82 or 83% for the year as far as winners versus losers. I think between yesterday and today, we've had 14 or 15 trades with one loser. It's been a really good couple of days.
Do you look at, I mean, you have volume up there. Do you use it? Or do you look at just keep it up there?
For certain trades, we use it, yes. And you can see, you know, it's 11 o'clock already. I'll show you, you know, most stocks, the volume's dying already. Here's the bottom line, guys. Look at the spider volume, right? 11 o'clock. We're dead. We're going to get most of our trades in the first hour to an hour and a half of the day. There's some people out there that have the point of view, don't trade the first hour in the day. It's chop city. It's volatile. It's when you can get hurt trading things. For a good trader, it's the exact opposite. We're going to make all our money, or a good portion of it, in the first hour of the day, because things are volatile and they're flying around and they hit our technical levels, and it sets up for us to make trades. It's never going to get any better, I said this before, than it does in the morning, right? It's just not going to. When you have a good morning, it's not going to get better. Why? Because volume starts to slow down and things aren't moving as much. It's just the way it is. So usually between 11 and 1:30, 2 o'clock, it's kind of, you talk about Chop City this morning, that's what it's like. And usually you just give back a little bits of money trying to find things to do that aren't there, which is another good point, because a lot of us, especially beginning traders, make things up so that we can get into trades. Ooh, that's this kind of pattern, that's that kind of pattern, just so you can trade, right? We're never going to make a trade unless something hits one of our support or resistance levels.
Hey, do you ever trade at the close?
No, we don't trade. My machine is done at 3:30, okay, unless there's earnings, which we're starting to come into now. Earnings season is great for us, Spence, because we'll get a lot of our trading setups, trend trades, regular moving average trades, far from moving average. But trend trades are the best during earnings season, because usually when stocks come out and they have good earnings, they stay good, and we can get involved in the trends. And when they come out and they have bad earnings, they stay down, and we can get involved in the trends. I got to show you guys EA, right? Someone just pointed this out in the room. Some news must have come out in something, right? But look at this. Look what it did. This is why I love technical analysis so much. News comes out in a stock. Obviously, it did. Something happened. The stock went from 137 to 133.60. Everybody see this little dot? We had a support level at 133.60 on our chart. I'm not making this stuff up, right? It exactly got to that level and quickly bounced $2. So whatever the news was, even when there's news out in the stock, technical analysis is what you got to do. And you know, we're always looking for news in a stock before we get involved in something. We're not just going to go blindly into something. But I wonder, Spence, you see anything in Benzinga on EA? Someone in my room said there was a put sweep that just made it go down $3.
The publishers have been Oh, wait a minute. What day is today? No, I don't see anything today. The publishers have the EA, Activision, Take-Two. They've been pretty volatile, mostly weak, but there was that weird uptrend they had for a couple of days, but mostly pretty weak this year. There's been a lot of days when people have been like, "Oh, why is EA, Activision, Take-Two going down?" And there is no. The only reason is that there is just out of favor. That's the reason.
Someone in the room just said there was a 115 put call sweep.
Okay.
For those of you who don't,
cool.
for those of you who don't know what that is, it works, it don't work. I don't usually pay attention to that stuff.
I don't put a lot of stock in that stuff.
Me
but,
neither.
But yeah,
a whole bunch of people made a bet that the stock could go down to 115 or start going towards that level. That's what that means. That's all it means.
Yeah.
Guys, you having trouble with Thinkorswim charts?
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, mine aren't loading for some reason right now. Anybody else?
All right, real quick, I just put the link to David's course. There was a couple people in the chat who said they're beginners, asking for advice. David's course that he does with Peter Tuchman, who is the most photographed man on Wall Street. It's called Wall Street Global Trading Academy, and I just put that link in the chat right there. So there you
Excellent.
go.
Yeah, guys, just a couple of things. With the Wall Street Global Trading Academy, the course, it's a one-time charge. You get mentorship from us every single Thursday night included in that. We walk you through the whole process. So anyone who purchases the course, that's great. Two other things I want to talk about. One, Spence, if you could put my email up. Guys, anyone who's watching right now can come and join me for a 5-day free trial in the room starting as soon as we finish. dgreen927@yahoo.com. Right. Come on in. You can hang out with us for 5 free days. There you go. From the time we leave here, you can hang out for 5 free days. And the last thing, guys and girls, and probably most importantly, let's get the Benzinga link up there, guys and girls. 7-day or 14-day Spence free trial.
14-day.
2-week free trial to Benzinga. I'm going to say 50% of the people in my room, including myself, are using Benzinga Pro as a source for our news, as a scanning service. It is the best in the business. To me, it is like having a moving average. I couldn't trade without it. So those are the 3 things you got to look into. And we'll be back with everybody on Monday.
That is the plan. We'll be back. And yeah.
Any closing thoughts? Anything you want from me, Spence?
No, let's see. There was someone was asking for a ticker. You want to look at XL Fleet here? That's what Bill Scott was asking about.
XL Fleet Corp. Okay. So whenever anyone asks me about a stock that's trading at $5 or $4 or $3 or $2 or $8, all right, my answer to them is going to be, if it's a stock that you like, it goes into your I don't care if I lose the money category, a $5 stock. And it's okay to have a portion of this stuff in your portfolio. As a trader, it's not something I'm ever going to look at from a trading point of view. So I would say it's a lottery ticket. Some of them work, some of them don't. Right?
It's a call option, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's $5. You know what your downside is. And anytime somebody asks me about one of those stocks, that'll be, and I have some of them. Let's see. I don't have to talk about what they are. I just want to look at EA. It's going lower again. I have a bunch of those little stocks in my portfolio some of these I've had for a year or two. They never do anything. But like SDC, we owned a lot of this at $5.59. You can see I have one share left, but we sold it at $6, $6.50, and $6.90. So that one happened to work for us. But it's okay to have a portion of your portfolio in stocks that are lottery tickets.
Yeah. All right, David Green, Wall Street Global Trading Academy. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good rest of your day.
You too, Spence. How you feeling, by the way, before we go?
I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. I feel about the same as I've been for the past couple of days. I'm gonna have this lingering cough, I suspect, for probably a few weeks, but other than that, I'm feeling fine. So
good.
Thanks for checking. Have a good one, man.
All right. Guys.
Hey, guys, SPAC's Tax coming live right now. Chris and Mitch should be going live any second, so I'm gonna hop off here. This stream will end and redirect to those guys. Do me a quick solid and show me some love by clicking that little thumbs up button on your screen. We'd appreciate that. Hey, while you're at it, you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel? you should do that as well, because we put this stuff out for free all day, and it's a nice way of showing your support. We appreciate that. So like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Remember, as always, all the information from all Benzinga shows are meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. And that's going to be a wrap. Everyone, I hope you're having a green day, like the band, right? And I'll be back on a Power Hour an hour from now. Catch you guys later. Spax Tack live right now.